this is Deepika Patel and welcome to the SchoolQuizz class. So let's start our today's class, and today's class will be purely based on your sample question paper. Okay. So we will see the sample question paper on biology. Okay, and we will solve all the questions one by one. Okay. And as you know, in your term 2 examination, there are 7 questions of 2 marks and there are 6 questions of 3 marks and 2 questions of 4 marks, which is case based. Okay. Now, so there are 7 questions of 2 marks, 6 questions of 3 marks, and 2 questions of 4 marks. So your sample question paper on biology will be based on these marking, okay, according to your term 2 examination. So let's start. And in your sample question paper 1, there is first question, right? Here. So the first question is, Ria looks like her mother. Her hair complexion is very similar to her mother, but Ria cannot swim like her mother. Okay. What type of traits transfer to Ria from her mother, and why the swimming traits did not transfer to Ria? Okay. Now you can see in this question, this question is from lesson 9 of your heredity chapter, and this question is going to the heredity itself. Okay. Now Ria looks like her mother, and her hair complexion is very similar to her mother. Means these are what? These are the acquired traits. Okay? Acquired traits. Where all the characteristics is present in the reproduction cell, and this information of the characteristics is transferred from parents to their children or their offspring. Okay, so these are the acquired traits. Now, Ria cannot swim. So tell me, if your mother, father can swim or can do any work like study, drive, okay, skipping. So you can also do it. Is it necessary that you can also do it like the traits of the looking or the complexion or the hair is transferred from parents to the Ria? Is it necessary that swimming, if her mother can swim, so Ria can also swim? No. Why? Because these are the working traits. It means you have to learn in your life. You have to acquire in your life by your life experiences. So these are the acquired traits. Okay. These are not transferred just because of reproduction. Okay. These are not present in the reproduction cell as a information from parents, so they get transfer from parents to their offspring. Okay, so it has to be acquired by your life experiences, by your learning. Okay, it has to be earned in your life. So these are the acquired traits. So that's why the swimming traits is not transferred to Ria, because these are the acquired traits, and acquired traits does not transfer from parents to their children. Okay, so we can write the answer like this. Here is the answer. This is first question. So there are 2 types of traits found, that is inherited traits and the acquired traits. Okay. So firstly, you have to tell that there are 2 types of traits, that is inherited traits and the acquired traits. Then you have to tell what is inherited traits, because the examiner does not know. Okay, what is the inherited traits and the acquired traits. So you have to tell them that inherited traits are the traits which are transferred from parents to their child. The information of these traits are coded by the DNA, like hair, complexion. So that's why these are transferred from parents to their children. Okay. Now you have to tell them what is acquired traits. So traits which are experienced, learned, and influenced by the environment is known as the acquired traits. Means it has to be learned in your life. It has to be experienced in your life and influenced by your environment. Okay, so these are the acquired traits. The information of these traits are not coded by the DNA. Exactly. That's why it is called the acquired traits, right? So the information of these traits are not coded by the DNA, and that's why these traits cannot be transferred to next generation, like driving, swimming. Then you have to give example in both the traits, skimming, etc. Based on the above information, now you have to conclude all the answers. Based on the above information, inherited traits transferred to RIA and swimming is acquired traits. And you have to tell them in the RIA what are the inherited traits and what are the acquired traits. So in RIA, the swimming will be the acquired trait. And that's why she did not swim until she learned. Okay. So you RIA have to be learned the swimming traits because it is not the inherited traits, so it cannot be transferred from her mother to Riya. Okay. So I hope this is clear for you. Now let's move to the next question. So the next question is, so it is from the lesson 8. Okay. So the question is asking, mention flower reproductive part with their function. So in this question, you have to draw flower reproductive part. The question is asking about the anther, ovary, and the stigma. Okay. So firstly, you have to draw the reproductive part. Then you have to explain the function of their reproductive part. Okay. Now let's move and see how we can solve or how we can answer it. Okay. So here is the answer. So flower reproductive parts with their function. Firstly, you have to give the title of the answer. Okay. What is you going to tell about the examiner? Okay. So next thing you have to draw the flower reproductive parts. So in this diagram, I have taken the NCERT book for the diagram. Okay. And in the question, you have to you see like the anther, ovary, and stigma. So the anther is the male reproductive part, and ovary and stigma is the female reproductive part. So now it is clear you have to make both reproductive parts of the plant, male and the female. So how you can draw in your examination, just like this. Firstly, you have to draw like this. Okay. Try this. Firstly, make a round oval shape and then a line attached to it. This is the ovary and like this. So this is the stigma. Second, this is the style. So you don't you don't name the style because the question is not asking. You just name the stigma. Okay? And now the question is asking for the ovary. So you have to mention the ovary. Where is ovary? So just draw a circle. So this type you can draw very well and very easily. So this is the ovary. This is the ovary. Now you have to make the male reproductive part. So it is easy. Just draw a vertical line and double them. And at the tip of the line, you have to just make a oval shape figure. And this is the answer. So here, now you can also draw the petals, something like this. And your flower reproductive part is ready. Now you have to mention the function of the reproductive parts. So what does the answer do? So the answer is the male reproductive part. Firstly, you have to tell them which type of reproductive part it is. So it is a male reproductive part and to produce pollen grains. So you know that the pollen grains is produced from the anther and then it is transferred to stigma by the means of wind or the insects, birds. Okay. So by this type, the pollen grains is transferred to stigma by the means of winds, insects, and also the stigma is sticky, so they can easily grab the pollen grains. So you have to tell them only the function of the anther. Okay. So the function is to produce pollen grains. Next, ovary. So ovary is a female reproductive part and site of fertilization. So in the plant, where does the fertilization occur? The fertilization occurs in the ovary. Okay. Then this pollen grains is fused to form a fused in a filament structure and they reach to the ovary and there is the female egg cell is present and they fuse with the female egg cell and form a and the fertilization occurs. Okay. So next thing is the stigma. So you have to tell them that it is also a female reproductive part. Okay. And it receives pollen grains. It is sticky. Okay. So this is simple. It receives pollen grains and it is sticky. So these are the function of the female and the male reproductive parts of the plant. And we have to draw the flower reproductive parts. Okay. Now it is clear, right? So let's move to the next question. So the next question is, what type of reproduction found in amoeba and the plasmodium? State the difference between them. So the question is indirectly asking about the fission reproduction, which is a asexual type reproduction. Okay. And fission reproduction, asexual type reproduction. And in the fission reproduction itself, there are two types, like the binary fission and the multiple fission. Okay. So the binary fission is about that one parent cell produce only two daughter cells. Okay. Two daughter cells. And in the multiple fission reproduction, there are many daughter cells in the multiple many daughter cells from the parent cell, from the single parent. So let's see how we can write the answer in your examination. Okay, because how we can write it is most important. It affects the presence of the examiner also. Okay. Here. So this is your answer. Firstly, you have to tell them that amoeba and plasmodium both are the example of asexual reproduction. Okay. Now, in the asexual reproduction, you already know that it is the example of the fission reproduction. Okay. Fission asexual reproduction. So you have to tell them that the type of reproduction in which only single parent involved for their offspring is known as asexual reproduction. Okay. So what is asexual reproduction? You have to tell them. Next, it is the next step. There are many types of asexual reproduction. Okay. So in amoeba and the plasmodium, fission asexual reproduction form. Okay. Firstly, what you have to tell that it is the example of the sexual reproduction. Now you have to tell what it is, what is the asexual reproduction. Then you have to tell them there are many types and it is one of them, that is the fission reproduction. Then you move to the fission reproduction. Okay. So there are many types of asexual reproduction in amoeba and plasmodium fission asexual reproduction form. Now you have to tell them the difference between fission asexual reproduction and between fission asexual reproduction in amoeba and the plasmodium. Okay. So this is the table. It is somehow it moved in here. Okay. So firstly you have to make a table like amoeba and the plasmodium, and you have to write just 2 points because the question itself is 2 marks. So it can give you easily 2 marks. Okay. So in the amoeba, binary fission takes place. Binary fission takes place. You have to just tell them the name of the fission. And in the plasmodium, multiple fission take place. Right? And in amoeba, what happens? That 2 daughter cells form from parent cell. And in plasmodium, multiple daughter cells form from parent cell. Okay? So you have to tell them what type of fission reproduction takes place in the amoeba and the plasmodium. And you have to just explain them that what happens in the binary fission and the multiple. So this type you can cover the whole answer in a very systematic way, and this will affect your examiner and he can give you all the marks. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. And the next question is asking about the give 2 example of 5 trophic level of food. So what is the trophic level? Firstly, you have to know about what is the trophic level. Okay. So you can give the answer of this question, that give 2 example of 5 trophic level of food chain. So in a food chain, there are levels. Like in a food chain, we require energy and the food. So we depend on another organism for our food. And that's how a chain and the sequence is present in a food chain. Like it is a plant, there is a plant. So this is a plant. And this plant is eaten by the, like say, deer. Okay. And this deer is eaten by the tiger. So what happens here? Deer depends on the plant for their food and the energy, and tiger is depend on the deer for their food, for their energy. So that's how a chain is prepared, or a sequence or the series is prepared in the food chain. And in every level, the level here is like this plant is the first level and this deer is the second level. Means in a chain or the sequence or the series, what every step or every I can say the level. Okay, so this is the third level. So these are called the trophic levels. So what are the levels in your food chain and the food chain series or the sequence? So that is the trophic level. So the question is asking for give 2 example of 5 trophic level of food chain. Okay, so the food chain, you have to know that in a food chain, the maximum trophic level would be 4 or the 5, because we already reached to the top level, that is the tiger or the lion or the eagle in a food chain. Okay, so you have to tell them the 2 example of 5 trophic level. So let's see what are the examples we can take. So firstly, you have to tell them that what are you going to explain in your answer. So you have to title the answer and the example of 5 trophic level of food chain here. Here you have to mark them. The first example is the plant, grasshopper, frog, snake, and hawk. Okay, so grasshopper eats the plant, frog eats the grasshopper, snake eats the frog, and hawk eats the snake. Okay, so that's how this series formed, and you have to tell them also what is the level of this chain. Okay, that because the question is asking for the 5 trophic levels, so you have to mention the trophic level in your food chain series. That's how your question will be complete. Okay, so this is the first trophic level, this is the second trophic level, and this is the third trophic level, this is the fourth, and this is the 5. So these are all the fifth 5 trophic level series. Okay, now next example you can give that grass, mouse, toad, fox, sloth. Toad is kind of a small animal, like it look like I think I can say like a squirrel, or but his face a little type of owl. Okay, just a second, I'll show you. Here, so this is a store. Okay. So these are cute. So I think you understand now. So let's move to the question. Okay. So the question is asking for the 5 trophic level, and so in the next example of the food chain, you can give the example of the grass, mouse. So mouse is eaten by the stoat, and stoat is eaten by the fox, and fox is eaten by the lion. So these are the food chain series. So you have to also mention the trophic level in your food chain series. So that's how you can complete your answer, and that's okay. So this is the first trophic level, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So that's how you can complete your answer with a very systematic way, and you have to mention the trophic level. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. Yes. So the next question is, what is called the interaction between the biotic components and the abiotic components? So in the second video of chapter 15 environment, I told you that what is ecosystem. Ecosystem. See, in our environment, there are biotic things and abiotic. So what is the abiotic things and the biotic things? So biotic things, all the living things. And abiotic things, that is all the non-living things. So what they do, see, they interact with biotic and abiotic. Okay, so the both biotic and the abiotic, they interact with them. Okay, how? Let's see the example of the plant. So plant is a living thing. Okay, it is a biotic thing because it is living thing. So they do the photosynthesis for their food. They prepare their food. They prepare their own food. Okay, and they get sunlight from the sun. They get water from the soil. Okay, and that's how they do the photosynthesis. And here you can see that the biotic things is interacting with the abiotic things, because sunlight and the sun and the water and the soil, these are all the abiotic things. So that's how the biotic and abiotic things is interact. Okay, you can see your many examples around surrounded by you, like you interact with your aquatic things with also with the sunlight, rain, water. You need water for your drinking purpose. You need food from the plant. So these are all the interaction. These are all the interaction. We call the interaction. So these interaction is called the ecosystem. Ecosystem. The interaction between the abiotic and the biotic things is called the it's called the ecosystem. So this is the answer of your first question in your first, second, third, fourth, fifth question. So this numbering is wrong. This is the third, this is the fourth, this is the fifth, this is sixth, and this is the seventh. So in your fifth question, the first part is complete, that the interaction between the biotic component and the abiotic component is called the ecosystem. Give the examples of biotic and biotic components also. Now you have to tell them the examples of biotic and the abiotic components. Okay. So let's start. So in the next question, how you can write here. Firstly, you have to tell them the interaction between biotic components and abiotic components is called the ecosystem, and you have to underline the ecosystem. Okay, that's how the examiner can see clearly. And now you have to tell them the examples of biotic components. So you can give the example human beings, plants, animals, etc. Okay, examples of abiotic components: sun, temperature, land, water. There are many examples. Okay, you can write it your own way. So this is the fifth question. Now let's move to the next question. And the next question is, state two mechanical barriers to avoid pregnancy and how it works. So what are the mechanical barriers? So these are the physical type of barriers, okay, which you insert in your body or you can put on your body so that to avoid the pregnancy. Okay, so let's see how it works and how we can write the answer. Here. Firstly, you have to tell them two mechanical barriers to avoid pregnancy, because the question is asking for for only two. So you have to tell them the example like property condom. Okay. Next thing, you have to tell them that how it works. So you have to tell them what are mechanical barriers first. Okay. So mechanical barriers provide physical barrier between sperm and the egg so that the fertilization will not take place, and that's how it works. Okay. So the main function of the mechanical barriers is to stop meeting of the male egg cell and the female egg cell. Okay, so when they do not meet during the intercourse or during the intercourse, okay, during the sexual intercourse, when they do not able to meet because of these mechanical barriers, so how can the egg fertilize? So the egg will not fertilize. Okay, will not fertilize, and that's how someone can avoid the pregnancy, or someone can avoid the pregnancy. Okay, right. So mechanical barriers provide physical barrier between sperm and egg so that the fertilization will not take place. Okay, and where do the fertilization take place? In the human beings, the fertilization takes place in the female, in the ovary, in the fallopian tube. Sorry, in the fallopian tube. It is also called the oviduct. Fallopian tube. Okay, so these are the examples and the functions of the mechanical barrier. Now let's move to the next question. And the next question is, if we do self-pollination between a tall plant which have T, capital T and capital D, and a short plant which have small t and small t. So this is, you can see that this is a purebred. Okay, purebred, right? What are the possible offspring we get from that? Just a second. So in this question, the question is asking for the possible offspring we get from them. So you have to cross the plant and you have to tell all the possible offspring which can get from the plant, okay, after crossing them. So in this crossing, the self-pollination is done because the question already told you that it is the self-pollination in the tall plant, in between the tall plant and the short plant. And we have the purebred. Purebred is like the same. Okay, if you have the small, if you have the both the like here said in the short plant both are the small t, and in the tall plant both are the capital T. Okay, so this is called the purebred. If in this one capital T and the one small t, so this is not called the purebred. Okay, so now let's see how we can solve it, how we can give the answer. So in this, firstly you have to do the cross. You have to do the self pollination between the tall plant and the short plant. So this is the, you have to write that self pollination between tall plant and the short plant is, you have to cross them. Okay, then you have to tell them what are the all possible offspring. So see here, tt cross small t and small t. So this will become capital T and small t, and this will also become capital T and small t. So these are all the possible offspring we can get from the tall plant and the short plant. And here you can see that the T is the dominance and small t is the recessive part. Recessive. Okay. So the dominance will dominate the other, and T is from the tall plant, so the plant will be tall. So all the tall plants we will get from this cross section or from this self pollination. Okay. So all plants were tall. It means that only one of the parental traits was seen. Okay. So parental traits means this capital is from the tall plant. So this parent trait will be seen in all the tall plants because the plants are the tall. And okay. So these are all the questions, and these are all from the 2 marks. And we have done all the 7 questions of 2 marks. Okay. Now in the next video we will see the long answer, and that is for the 6 questions for 3 marks. So we will see all those questions, and also we will see the 2 questions of 4 marks. Okay. So we'll meet in our next video, and till then revise all those difficult part. Okay. Like lesson 8, lesson 9, you have to revise them again and again, and this series will be helpful for your examination because I have taken all the possible questions for your exam for the biology section. It is from the chapter 8, chapter 9 and chapter 15. Okay. If you do this sample question paper, like I have prepared 2 sample question paper. So if you do all the possible questions of these 2 sample question paper, you have prepared like 75% for your examination. Okay. So and the rest 25% you can already do, or you have done, you can do it. Okay. So we are preparing for this 75%, and all these questions you can see in your NCERT exam, sorry, CBSE exam. These questions are repeatable, and like the Amoeba Plasmodium, these questions can be made in your examination. Okay. So keep watching the series and keep revising all the sections, and we'll meet in our next video. Okay. So thank you for joining the class. Thank you.